Khalid's father was al-Walid ibn al-Mughira, an arbitrator of local disputes in Mecca in the Hijaz, Western Arabia. Al-Walid is identified by the historians Ibn Hisham d. 833, Ibn Durayd d. 837, and Ibn Habib d. 859 as the derider of the Islamic prophet Muhammad mentioned in the Meccan surahs chapters of the Quran. He belonged to the Banu Makhzum, a leading clan of the Quraysh tribe in Mecca's pre-Islamic aristocracy. The Makhzum are credited for introducing Meccan commerce to foreign markets, particularly Yemen and Abyssinia, Ethiopia, and developed a reputation among the Quraysh for their intellect, nobility and wealth. Their prominence was owed to the leadership of Khalid's paternal grandfather al-Mughira ibn Abd Allah. Khalid's paternal uncle Hisham was known as the Lord of Mecca, and the date of his death was used by the Quraysh as the start of their calendar. The historian Muhammad Abdul Shaban describes Khalid as a man of considerable standing within his clan and Mecca in general. Khalid's mother was al-Asma bint al-Harith ibn Hazan, commonly known as Lubaba al-Sufra, Lubaba the Younger, to distinguish her from her elder half-sister Lubaba al-Kubra of the nomadic Banu Halal tribe. 6. Lubaba al-Sufra converted to Islam about circa 622, and her paternal half-sister Maimuna became a wife of Muhammad. Through his maternal relations, Khalid became highly familiarized with the Bedouin, nomadic Arab lifestyle. Khalid ibn al-Walid ibn al-Mughira al-Makhzumi, Arabic. Romanized. Khalid ibn al-Walid ibn al-Mughira al-Makhzumi, died 642, was a 7th century Arab military commander. He initially led campaigns against Muhammad on behalf of the Quraysh. He later became a Muslim and spent the remainder of his career serving Muhammad and the first two Rashidun caliphs, Abu Bakr and Umar. Khalid played leading command roles in the Ridda Wars against rebel tribes in Arabia in 632 to 633, the initial campaigns in Sasanian Iraq in 633 to 634, and the conquest of Byzantine Syria in 634 to 638. As a horseman of the Quraysh's aristocratic Banu Makhzum clan, which ardently opposed Muhammad, Khalid played an instrumental role in defeating Muhammad and his followers during the Battle of Uhud in 625. In 627 or 629, he converted to Islam in the presence of Muhammad, who inducted him as an official military commander among the Muslims and gave him the title of Saif al-Lit, Sword of God. During the Battle of Mu'tah, Khalid coordinated the safe withdrawal of Muslim troops against the Byzantines. He also led the Bedouin under the Muslim army during the Muslim conquest of Mecca in 629 to 630 and the Battle of Hunain in 630. After Muhammad's death, Khalid was appointed to Najd and al-Yamama to suppress or subjugate the Arab tribes opposed to the nascent Muslim state. This campaign culminated in Khalid's victory over rebel leaders Tulayha and Musaylima at the Battle of Buzaka in 632 and the Battle of Yamama in 633, respectively. Khalid subsequently launched campaigns against the predominantly Christian Arab tribes and the Sasanian Persian garrisons along the Euphrates Valley in Iraq. Abu Bakr later reassigned him to command the Muslim armies in Syria, where he led his forces on an unconventional march across a long, waterless stretch of the Syrian desert, boosting his reputation as a military strategist. As a result of decisive victories led by Khalid against the Byzantines at Ajnadain, 634, Fall, 634 or 635, Damascus, 634-635, and the Yarmouk, 636, the Muslim army conquered most of the Levant. Khalid was subsequently demoted and removed from the army's high command by Umar. Khalid continued service as the key lieutenant of his successor Abu Ubaidah ibn al-Jarrah in the sieges of Homs and Aleppo and the Battle of Chinizrin, all in 637 to 638. These engagements collectively precipitated the retreat of Imperial Byzantine troops from Syria under Emperor Heraclius. Around 638, Umar dismissed Khalid from the governorship of Chinizrin. Khalid died in 642, either in Medina or Homs. Khalid is generally considered by historians to be one of the most seasoned and accomplished generals of the early Islamic era, and he is likewise commemorated throughout the Arab world. Islamic tradition credits Khalid with his battlefield tactics and effective leadership during the early Muslim conquests. However, it also recounts incidents where he faced criticism, such as the execution of members of the Banu Jadima during the lifetime of Muhammad, the execution of Malik ibn Nuwayra during the Ridda Wars, and allegations of misconduct in the Levant. Khalid's military fame disturbed some pious early Muslims, most notably Umar, who feared it could develop into a personality cult. Sunni Muslims revere Khalid as a war hero, while many Shia Muslims view him as a war criminal. According to the historian Richard Blackburn, despite attempts in the early sources to discredit Khalid, his reputation has developed as Islam's most formidable warrior during the eras of Muhammad, Abu Bakr and the conquest of Syria. Kennedy notes that his reputation as a great general has lasted through the generations and streets are named after him all over the Arab world. Khalid is considered a war hero by Sunni Muslims, while many Shia Muslims view him as a war criminal for his execution of Malik ibn Nuwayra and immediate marriage of his widow, in contravention of the traditional Islamic bereavement period. There is no further significant role played by members of Khalid's family in the historical record. 18. His male line of descent ended toward the collapse of the Umayyad Caliphate in 750 or shortly after, when all 40 of his male descendants died in a plague in Syria. According to the 11th century historian Ibn Hazm, 188. As a result, his family's properties, including his residence and several other houses in Medina, were inherited by Ayyub ibn Salama, a great-grandson of Khalid's brother al-Walid ibn al-Walid. They remained in the possession of Ayyub's descendants until at least the late 9th century. Khalid ibn al-Walid was a military leader and strategist who contributed to the spread of Islam in the Middle East. He was a key figure in many early battles, including the Battle of Mu'tah, the Battle of Uhud, and the Battle of Khandaq. Military contributions. Conquered the Persian Empire. Khalid conquered the Persian Empire quickly, from 633 to 636. Conquered Roman Syria. Khalid conquered Roman Syria within 3 years, from 633 to 636. Defeated the Byzantine armies. Khalid defeated the Byzantine armies in Syria and Palestine, including the Battle of Yarmouk in 636. Suppressed rebel tribes. Khalid suppressed rebel tribes in Najd and al-Yamama, including the Battle of Buzaka in 632 and the Battle of Yamama in 633. Legacy. Khalid is known as Saif Allah, or Sword of Allah. He is considered a role model for his dedication to faith, courage, and strategic brilliance. He is also considered one of history's greatest military tacticians.